good morning. Welcome to Board Game Barrister, our local game shop in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It is Tuesday, which means we have just completed our first ever game of Canvas, a gorgeous game about completing paintings and trying to score points based on how well we did it. I am here with my fellow barristers, Ian, Glenn, and Gordon, and we are about to talk about all of our biggest takeaways from our game, what we thought of it, who we think it'll be great for. Before we do that, let's take a look at how the game plays. Alrighty, so Canvas is a game where each of us is going to have to complete 3 paintings over these background cards that we start the game with. Each painting has to have 3 art cards added to it, and each of those art cards is transparent, so you can see through it to the rest of the art cards, and when you've added those 3, you will have a gorgeous, beautiful painting done. But the thing that really matters for the end of the game is this scoring. Each time we play, we're going to play with 4 different scoring cards, and each of those will present a different requirement we need to fulfill with our paintings. When we do that, we earn a ribbon. When you're choosing which art cards to take each turn, you can always take the first art card in the row for free, but to get to the later ones, if they look better to you, you have to spend your inspiration tokens to get them, and if you ever take a card that has inspiration tokens on it, you get to keep all of those. So there's a bit of an inspiration token economy that comes out. And the last thing you'll see come up is that some of those art cards have got little bonus spots on them that can earn you silver ribbons. At the end of the game, we'll count up all of our ribbons, see how many points they're worth, and see who painted best.
So in this, our very first game, we think it took about 45 minutes. I actually don't know because my head was in the game start to finish, and to me, I was completely engaged the whole time.
There's definitely an element of, if you're playing with a group of people who show you with their first paintings that they're going for perfection, like Gordon and Glenn did.
I present to you Forbidden Darkness.
Oh, it's
now we know what kind of painter you are. The mood of the table decided that we were going to play an optimizing game rather than a quicker paced, more just, yeah, I'll take this because it looks good and I'll throw together paintings that look fun to me. So. The game has a really cool solo mode where you basically are going to have full access to all of the cards on the table at all times, and you can spend inspiration to get to cards further along, and any cards you skip get discarded, so you can get rid of those permanently. The only way to get inspiration back, though, is to complete paintings, so you have to be really careful with how you're using it, and then you're basically trying to reach various different benchmarks with the points that you have at the end of the game, so it looks like a really cool puzzle game. So if you really want to think for as long as you want to about each different play and how each card could help your paintings, the solo mode looks awesome for this.
As an indirectly competitive puzzle-solving game, this is right up my alley. I love games where I get to think about my set of permutations and figure out the different ways in which they're going to match together and try to come up with the best options that are available to me, not given the entire set of possibilities, but that are available to me with what I have to work with. So I like that constraint of I can't do the best ever, I've got to do the best with what I've got, and I really like that manipulation. And then this gives a really nice payoff to that, because when you're layering these together, you do get a little piece of art, and I can kind of look at that and think, oh, you know what, this is pretty. I like the way that is, and I like the little names that come up. So there's an interesting payoff beyond just, oh, I solved the puzzle well. It's I solved the puzzle well, and I got this cute little piece of art that is completely different than a way that I would ordinarily think. So those are 2 things that I liked a lot.
And I like the fact that I can tell these little stories, too, because that's what I love doing, is telling stories. And just the fact that I have this one where it's a ship behind a windowsill and it's fading view, I mean, that means they put real thought behind this, and I love that, the fact that it doesn't just work as the game where I have this puzzle. There's another puzzle there in that you are actually crafting these images that make sense for the titles, and I love that.
The thing I noticed halfway through playing was that they had specifically designed these cards so that the swatches on the left side tended to be titles and art elements that were on the left side of the painting, and then the second word in your title and the right-leaning elements of your painting tended to be the swatches on the right side, and then if you picked something with kind of swatches in the middle, that meant you were going to get maybe a background element or something across the center of the painting. So by filling in all of the different swatches and kind of filling out all of the potential for your painting, you knew that you were going to get a painting that actually had a working title, had elements that were going to provide some contrast and balance like an actual painting might, and get something interesting that it wasn't just all smashed over the top of each other. So design-wise, like super brilliant work on making it so that the paintings would actually work out. If you look at the box, which you can actually hang on a wall, it looks like a canvas painting. The game is a game about putting these clever, creative elements together to create these overlapping paintings that come out different every time. But mechanically, while this game looks like it might have a creative element, the gameplay has no creativity involved. The real gameplay is very puzzly. It's very collecting sets that you need for the scoring cards for this time.
I think in a way, just from the little bit of art classes I had, that kind of works too, because it's you can have a great idea for an art project, but your teacher gave you an assignment.
Well, yeah.
It's shrinking down that creativity because you have to follow a guideline.
Yeah.
Well, anyone who likes the working out the different puzzles and putting the pieces together to fit the best way possible, they're going to love this game. And as someone who likes puzzles, but also is a creative type, I still enjoyed it because I liked seeing that image come together as well when I completed the puzzle, and then going like, this puzzle work got me points, and it made a really cool painting.
So one of the things Ian and I struggled with the entire game was that we felt like our first paintings were lacking, and we could see that we had a lower score than Gordon and Glenn going into the second and third paintings. We kind of decided the thing we think we would do next time we play is not collect medals each painting and just collect them at the end. So I'm going to announce the title of my painting, not show anyone what I scored or how I completed it, put it face down in front of me, and we're all just kind of completing paintings as we go around, and that takes away this feeling of I'm behind so I'm not going to get back in it.
I think at the end of the game, having that cool gallery presentation where you would have all three of your paintings face down, and then you can call out, oh, my first painting, my breakout painting was Melancholy Childhood, and it was a little tough on the eyes for the first one, right? That little presentation piece of it brings back in that creative person, I think, in a way that feels really, really nice.
So if you feel like you'd be vulnerable to that, or if you play once and you kind of feel the same way we did, we'd suggest playing the face down gallery method. It sounds great. Alrighty, well, that about does it for our takeaways of our first ever game of Canvas. If this looks like your kind of game and you want to put together some sweet paintings, we hope you enjoy this one as well. If you've got a comment, leave a comment. We love chatting with our viewers. If you hit the like button, it means more people are going to get to see this video, which we really appreciate. And as always, hit that subscribe button to see all of our Tuesday game tables and our takeaway videos when we put them up. Our full playthrough of this game is available in the description down below. I've got a link there. And we will see you next week. Thank you so much for watching.